The Trump administration 1, Planned Parenthood 0. Discrimination workarounds are back. Nancy Pelosi embraces Moscow Mitch. I'm Jamal Simmons. This is why you should care. Planned Parenthood has given the deuces to Title X. Well, it hasn't yet, but the women's health nonprofit says it will leave the federal program if a judge denies its request for a stay against new Trump administration rules. Let's break this down. Title X makes federal funds available to medical clinics that provide basic and preventative care. Planned Parenthood receives some of those funds, but the Trump administration announced a ban on federal dollars to any clinic that even refers patients for abortions, including Planned Parenthood. Currently, federal money cannot be spent on abortions. But the new rules set to go into effect next week dictate funds cannot be directed to places like Planned Parenthood as long as they provide abortion services at all. While anti-abortion rights groups applaud the administration, Planned Parenthood fears for patients who depend on the organization's healthcare services. Why you should care? Planned Parenthood and other reproductive health clinics rely on federal dollars to continue getting care to people who they say wouldn't otherwise have a place to go. Often these are low-income families and single mothers. Taking money away from these organizations means threatening access to basic care like breast exams and STD screenings to low-income people. The Trump administration is proposing a new rule that would make it okay for businesses with federal contracts to use religious objections to deny hiring workers on the basis of sex, race, LGBTQ status, and other characteristics. According to the 46-page draft released by the Labor Department, the proposal could apply to up to 420,000 contractors. The new rule would not eliminate long-standing non-discrimination executive orders like a 2014 order banning LGBTQ discrimination, but instead create a loophole to get around these rules. Here's why you should care. The ACLU and others believe the Trump administration has been slowly chipping away at key safeguards for LGBTQ rights in the name of religious freedom, and see this as just the latest example of that. There have been some efforts recently to extend civil rights protections to the LGBTQ community. For example, the House passed the Equality Act just this May, and the U.S. Supreme Court is set to hear 3 cases this fall that will evaluate whether anti-LGBTQ discrimination is already banned under existing civil rights laws. The president's actions don't seem to be in alignment with these protective measures. Progressive organizations worry that this new proposal could open the door to firing or refusing to hire people of minority faiths, divorcees, or women who are pregnant and unmarried. The White House tells The Hill that the new proposal does not undermine the president's promise and commitment to the LGBTQ community. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell seems to relish the moniker Grim Reaper because of his ability to kill Democrats' attempts to do almost anything. But there's a new handle for the Kentucky Republican that apparently has him bristling. They call him Moscow Mitch, and for the first time, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is using it. The nickname, first coined by MSNBC talk show host Joe Scarborough, was originally in reaction to McConnell's efforts to block Senate Democrats from passing election security legislation. You know, the additional security needed to stop the Russians from interfering in our next election. McConnell called the measures partisan, so they never even got a vote. Then there were a series of stories about how a politically connected Russian company, under sanction by the U.S., got a waiver to help build an aluminum plant in McConnell's home state of Kentucky. When a bipartisan group in Congress tried to stop the move, McConnell squashed the effort. Here's why you should care. Because Russia is committed to disrupting America's democracy, and all of our intelligence agencies know it. It turns out that 2 of McConnell's former staffers are now lobbyists for the American arm of the new aluminum plant, according to Politico. So after a few weeks of Moscow Mitch trending on social media, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, no stranger to being vilified, she got in on it.
They sent our legislation to the Senate. Moscow Mitch says that he is the Grim Reaper. Imagine describing yourself as the Grim Reaper.
Democrats in Kentucky are having a field day. The party has reportedly made $500,000 on Moscow Mitch merchandise in just a couple of weeks. Pelosi is a careful politician. If she's embracing the Moscow Mitch meme, McConnell and the Republicans should definitely be worried. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos. And head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.